Here's the thing, and I've been guilty of this myself. I opened WordPress, I jumped right on in without planning anything. I open and I create a bunch of pages, I click launch, and then the website does nothing for my business. Now, if this is you, don't worry. Today's video is going to teach you the exact things that you need to be gathering together in order to create a successful website. Now, this is probably the hardest part of creating a website, but the most important. Okay, so there are 4 things that you need to be looking at before you even decide on a platform, before you even create your first page. And those 4 things are your branding, your content, your images, and a lead magnet, or we can also call this an opt-in. Okay, so let's first look at branding. And there's this huge misconception that branding is just your logo. Now, that's totally untrue. Your branding is your whole business's voice, and that comes through in the form of, yes, a logo, but a logo can have many different variations. As you can see on the screen here, we've got a linear logo, a round logo, and you'll have different versions of your logo because there are different places you want to be using your logo in. So for example, you may use your logo in a circular format on Instagram or more linear format on your website. And the reason we use a linear format on web is just to reduce that retail space. So bring that, it's a smaller space, less need for scrolling. So other things that make up your branding are also your colors, your fonts, and maybe any patterns or design elements like icons or scribble elements like I have in my own branding. Now, when we're looking at our colors and our fonts, simplicity is key. With fonts, we're going to choose about 3 fonts, nothing more than that. We might have a script font and a serif and a sans serif font. With the script font, which is more like your handwriting font, we want to keep this as minimal as possible on the website because often a script font is really difficult to read. Then when it comes to your colors, again, simplicity is key. I often say go for 9 colors. This is because I use the Cadence theme, which is super awesome. You can check out this video as to why I love this theme so much. Basically, the 9 colors will be made out of 2 accent colors. So these are bright, more bolder, warmer colors that will be used in links or buttons. Then you've got 4 more darker colors that would be used for paragraph font or your heading font. And then you've got the other 3, which would be your background colors. So these are more whites, more pastels. And I'll link below to a really great article that Cadence did explaining exactly how to choose your colors for your website. So the next thing we look at is your content. So we often say with your imagery, that's really going to catch the eye, but it's the content or the copy. These are the words that you put on your website that is going to actually sell your services or your products. Again, I think that when you start to be cute and you start to be clever on your website, that really creates confusion. So keep it really simple. Things to think about with your content and your copy is things like your buttons, your call to actions. Again, keep those simple. Don't be like join the gang. Use things like click now, those kind of call to actions. You also want to think about a tagline. Now, a tagline is a short, sweet sentence that is above the fold on the home page. And as soon as someone lands on your website, they're going to instantly know whether this is for them or this is not for them. Basically, what you're saying is, this is what I do, this is who I serve, and this is how I can help you. Remember, your website is not about you. It's all about the browser. It's about how you can help them, or exactly when someone lands on their website, it's like, okay, what exactly can you do for me? It's all about the browser. Just remember that. So your tagline, really short, sweet sentence that's really going to grab their attention and know instantly whether you offer them or not. Now, the next thing is your imagery. And I often say, and it can be a little bit controversial, is that your images are actually more important than your branding. The images flow on from your branding because they continue to tell your story, your business's story. And if you have limited resources, then it's totally okay to use stock photography. But if you're trying to decide whether to pay for a graphic designer or a photographer, I would say go for a photographer over the brand designer. But if you can only afford stock photography, and you can check out things like Pixabay or Unsplash, those are really great options. But what I recommend you do is when you download those photos is you kind of crop them or put a color overlay that's in line with your branding, just to make those images a little bit different and that they are not directly downloaded from a stock photography website. And also don't pick the first photo on the page. Maybe click through to one of the other pages to download photos. Now the last thing we look at is our lead magnet or our opt-in. So in short, this is when we give away something for free in exchange for our browser's email address. So remember, we want to start creating a connection and building a relationship with our browser. And how we can do that is by giving something away for free. This is kind of a taster, a real snapshot into what we offer. And that way you'll get their email address. You'll be able to then start nurturing a relationship with your browser. And ultimately, this will then lead to them purchasing from you. So a lead magnet can be something like a PDF, an audio like a meditation. It can be a short 3-part video series, but keep it simple and really in line with the services that you offer. Okay, so those are the 4 essential elements that make up the content of your website. Now, before you even choose a platform, you first want to decide on your branding, your content, your images, and your lead magnet, and then start gathering together all this information. And once you've gathered together all this information, you can then decide which is the right platform for you, and you can dive into creating your website. Now, if you want more help planning out your website, I have the perfect thing for you. The Perfectly Planned Website Challenge is happening this month between the 25th and the 27th of April. This is a free website challenge that is going to help you set your website goals, decide what content you need, and what platform is best for you. By the end, we're going to have crafted a full plan, and you're going to feel really confident jumping in and creating your own website. So click the link below or click the link here on the screen. Sign up today. It's totally free, and I really look forward to having you there.